So, Mr. Rispone, you've visited the state, you've spoken to the people. How do you feel about your chances?
I think we have a very good chance. I really do. It's very close, of course, but I think it all comes down to the turnout. Again, you hear that all the time, but in this case here, I think it's for real. It's going to be close, and I think we have a very good opportunity to turn this state around.
And we've seen the early voting numbers, of course, just those alone setting records across Louisiana, the highest for a non-presidential election. What does that say about what says?
It says that people are motivated. I know that the Democrats have spent a lot of money, getting the vote out as well, and early voting particularly, but in the same token, our early voting numbers are very high as well. So it's going to be close. People are motivated. I think the liberal tax and spend politicians, particularly the trial lawyers, the ones they support, they're concerned. So they're really put the money into the campaign. I know the Democratic Party is sending money down here. Obama's team has sent money down here to get the vote out. So they're doing everything that they can because they know it's going to be close, and we have a very good chance of turning the state around.
And so between now and Saturday night, what are going to be some of those biggest challenges you face?
I don't know about challenges. It's just constantly going around the state and motivating people and helping them recognize that this is a very important race, and it's a generational race. We can't afford to not win this race and turn our state around. We have an opportunity that we can't pass up. So the reception's been very good. Everywhere I go, they say we've got to win. We've got to do something. We don't need to be last. We don't deserve to be last, and it's an opportunity to do something better.
And so when you say this is a generational race, are we talking about the future of our kids? What exactly do you mean?
It is generational. It really is, because we have an opportunity here to change things. We really do, with the new House and the new Senate. People that are really serving for the right reason and want Louisiana to be number one in the South and not last. And then with me as governor, we will get some things accomplished. And it will be generational, the changes that we make. And you also have, redistricting again coming up. So that's going to be part as well. So it's a very important race. I mean, you hear that every year, but this is different.
Of course, the national attention like nowhere else. We have the virtue of Saturday elections here in Louisiana, which by themselves garner some national interest here. But I mean, the issues at stake here, it might be hard to kind of narrow it down, but number one issue at stake here in this race, what would that be?
It's jobs. We're last. We're the only state in the country losing jobs. We have lost 70,000 of our citizens left the state to find work. It's about jobs. Louisiana should be number one in the South when it comes to jobs and opportunities, and we're not. We're not riding the Trump wave. Our employment is the lowest it's been in a decade, but it's higher than everyone else. And on top of that, we've had 70,000 citizens leave the state to go find work. That's why. We have to do something different. And it's going to take a business person, an outsider, someone to not be holding a special interest. We have to do something different. They've run our state way too long. It's time to take our state and run it for the citizen of Louisiana.
So you say a business person, an outsider. What qualities does a business person, what qualities does an outsider have that can contribute to this kind of job?
That's a very good question. Let's think of it this way. You're trying to hire a CEO for a $30 billion operation. Do you want a liberal, tax and spend, career politician who's a trial lawyer, who's beholden to trial lawyers, or do you want a CEO, someone that's created thousands of jobs, worked with industries and job creators for 40 years, someone that's not beholden to special interests, someone that's filled those jobs with Louisiana citizens through education and training? It's a simple analysis in my mind, and that's the message we have to get out there. They've had their opportunity for decades, and they haven't turned it around. It's time to do something different.
And so looking at these polls here, the past month or so, the number of undecided voters hovering more or less around 5%, give or take. But what do you think it'll take to win them over come Saturday?
Well, I tell you what, they know this governor. They've known him for 4 years as governor, and they still undecided. That bodes well for us, because they're sitting there now saying, I'm really not happy with this individual. He's raised our taxes. We're losing jobs. He's completely beholden to special interests, particularly trial lawyers. Our auto insurance is still second highest in the country. He's done nothing about it. So I think it bodes well for us, for me as the governor, because when it comes time to finally vote, they're going to say, okay, he's had his chance, he hadn't done it. I'm going with Rispone. I'm going to do something different to turn our state around. So in that case, I feel good about it.
And we've seen, of course, multiple visits. I believe 2 visits from Mike Pence, 2 visits from President Trump himself over the course of, I think, just this runoff race alone. Does that surprise you that we're getting this kind of national interest from the very people you talk about in your campaign to come down for you?
I think I would say this to the citizens of Louisiana. The President of the United States loves our country, and he loves Louisiana. He wants us to ride the Trump wave. He wants our economy to be what it should be. And so he has a big interest in it. It's not just for 2020. He wants to see Louisiana do well. And he's been here twice already just for campaigns. And he's coming again this Thursday to the Bossier. And just to get the vote out. Just let the people know that we can do better. And we just have to be motivated to go vote. So I'm very grateful to him, and I'm sure the citizens of Louisiana are going to be grateful to him as well.
And we've connected quite a bit with the national political sphere here. Do you think this governor's race here in Louisiana is a sign of what to expect come 2020?
Well, I would say this. Louisiana is basically a conservative state. We're a red state. So we strong on our faith, strong on work ethics, strong on conservative values, particularly Christian conservative values, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment. So that's our state. And what's happened with the Democratic Party, they've gone so far left. They want to do away with airplanes and trains and cows. I mean, it's made open borders. So I think Louisiana is going to send a message to these liberal Democrats around the country, and the ones we have here. Our governor's one of them. That they're not going to go along with this agenda that they have. We're not socialists. We believe in free enterprise. We believe in the freedoms that we have. And so that's the message that's going to come out of this election.
Dating back a few months ago, you were talking at the Baton Rouge Press Club. There's a question asked, were you ever a member of the opposite party? And I believe you had said at one point earlier in your life you had been a registered Democrat, switched to Republican. Why is that?
Well, I was 18, so most of us registered because we wanted to vote in the primaries. I guess they really didn't have it, so they would say you can't vote until the runoff. So we all voted that way. And I'll go back to this. The Democratic Party in Louisiana at that time was very conservative, and so my parents were that, so I registered. But it didn't take long. I guess I was in my early 20s that I changed, particularly when I got out and really started seeing what was happening. And I'm not sure what year it was, but it was in my 20s. And I said, okay, I'm going back to the Republican Party.
And so what do you think has changed more, the Democratic Party or your own political views over the years?
I think the Democratic Party has changed the most. Back then the Democratic Party was conservative, very conservative, particularly when it comes to Christian values. And that's gone out the window completely. And I think back then, taxes and spend, it was more conservative as well. Now that's gone out the window. Now it's more your entitlement. Back then we were fighting for the rights to have freedom to go do the free enterprise, get a good job. And so the Democratic Party projected itself that way. But now it's gone completely the other way. It's all about entitlements, socialism, do away with the free enterprise. The Christian values are going out the window. They don't have those. So really, and I would say this, the Republican Party has taken on the mantra of we're going to protect everyone, including the low and middle income families. You think about it, who set up and did what it took to bring, did away with segregation? It was the Republican Party. It wasn't the Democratic Party. So they really have come up and take the mantra and say, we are for all the people. And I've been battling for education, and most of those children I've been fighting for, their parents or whatever demographics vote with the Democrats 90% of the time. So it's an irony that it's the Republican Party who's really fighting for the low and middle income families now.
If you're elected Saturday, whatever the margin, there will still be a group of voters who didn't vote for you.
Yes.
What would you say to those if you were to become their governor?
I'm going to create jobs in Louisiana. I'm going to make Louisiana the #1 state in the South when it comes to jobs. And they're going to get those jobs, whether they're a D or an R, it doesn't matter to me. It's for all of our citizens. So I'm going to represent the state of Louisiana. And when it comes to education and making sure that everybody has an opportunity to get a quality education and a quality training so they can fill those jobs, it doesn't have anything to do with D's and R's, whether they vote for me or not. And that's the way I operate. I'm going to do what's best for Louisiana. And that's why I'm in this race. I'm here for all of them. Whether it's north, south, east, or west, it doesn't matter either. I'm going to represent the state of Louisiana.
Eddie Rispone, thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jerry and Kellyanne, back to you.